I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and I have a lot of leftover dye. It's leftover from a ChemKnits dye along and some other videos. Now, I've probably got around 100 and 150 milliliters of an approximately 1% stock solution of Dharma True Black. And what we do with this depends on what the colors we have over here. I have a hair of some teal, a hair of some navy, this more mystery color, which, okay, it looks both orange to me, but then also looks blue. So we'll see what color it is. But this is a combination of Fluorescent Safety Orange, Purple Pop, and True Turquoise. And there's probably the most of the Fluorescent Safety Orange in there. Oh, it is a teal. Okay, so then in that case, because this looks very, it also looks very orange. And I love that I have some spoons in here that I had just put in to rinse. So we will see how this comes out. But I think because of that, I am going to dye some yarn in 2 batches. I'm going to combine all of this, kettle dye it. Oh, we're actually, no, let's go ahead and do more sort of like variegated cool vat kind of stuff. I forgot that my plan was to just combine it and kettle dye in 2 colors if I thought that the color was not, if I wasn't sure how much I liked that first color. But I do like it, so therefore let's dye it. Right here I have 200 grams of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes worsted weight yarn. This yarn is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. It's a yarn base that I consider to be like a workhorse yarn for me. I love it, I dye it a lot, and I knit with it a lot, and it's the one that I use for winter hats for me and my family. Sometimes people ask me if it's scratchy or a little bit about that softness, and I find it to be pretty soft. Now, I'm gonna start with this remnant teal and navy, and I'm gonna add it, ooh, that's pretty. I'm gonna add it to this edge. There's no acid in the yarn yet, but that mystery teal color that we have over here, that definitely, without question, has citric acid in it. So I have no idea how this will turn. Ooh, that's really pretty. Now, since we are using a non-superwash yarn here, things are not gonna strike, even with the citric acid in there, as quickly as it might if we were using, for example, Stroll, which is a superwash merino nylon blend. I have no idea if this is gonna shift and turn more brown on me as time goes on, because the color in here looks brown, but what I'm seeing is green. So we will see. But I've dyed, I'll go a little further down, approximately half the yarn in this light, it's sort of a dusty bluish color. And now I do want to go ahead and use up this black. Oh goodness, I can see from my pre-soak there were a few areas that are less wet. And so this is a benefit of starting cool and with no acid in the yarn, is that I can just help that a little bit. So I want to take this, well actually let's measure it. We'll stick those spoons in the water because I'm curious. Not that we have the rest measured, but I was curious how much black there was. Hey, my estimate was pretty right. There's about 150 milliliters of the True Black in here. That is pretty cool. And I'm diluting it. I diluted it in to about 500 milliliters. So that way I could add this. And since I have a little more water that I used here to rinse out the container, I'm going to dilute it further. So we are hand painting this yarn. in that I am applying these colors to it, but there's actually a lot of liquid in here, so there will be some overlap and movement between the two colors. And they are probably not going to be identical, and that is okay. But I thought that this is just a fun way to use up the color. Now, I have no idea when this video is going to come out. Oh, there's still some color in there in relation to some other videos that I filmed. But what I'm going to do now is spray on some vinegar. And earlier today, I found, and this is approximate, but by doing 2 passes over the whole yarn, that used up approximately 30 milliliters of the vinegar, and this is just straight vinegar in here, which happens to be approximately 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. So I am adding right now what is approximately 4 tablespoons of white vinegar. Now, since the yarn we're doing is non-superwash, it will take more time for the colors to absorb to the yarn. And we will go and add heat. This is low immersion. We'll move it to the stove. Well, I guess once my burner's free up, I've got stuff on the stove right now. That other video that I was talking about that may or may not have come out yet. Okay. And I think, so by what I was doing and pressing down, that is helping to distribute the acid through the yarn. And since I've got more acid in here, I may as well. This is a little overkill in the amount of vinegar that I think I am adding. And let me see. So I think I started with about 160 milliliters, and I've probably got around 75 left. So, yeah, that would be, I think I did a equivalent of 6 passes. I'm not sure. I haven't kept track. I'll have to pay attention when I was editing to how many passes of vinegar I did, or you could count at home. But I think that it's not essential to know. It's just, you know, the same reason why, like, I saw how much dye we had on here just purely out of interest, not because that is important. But anyway, this is just showing, I guess, another fun way you can play with leftovers to create something that is fun, that has intent, but versus just throwing everything in a pot, which, I mean, I guess I did throw everything in a pot, but we created a variegated colorway, and so that is fun. But anyway, this is going to sit here probably, I would say, between 30 minutes to an hour, but then we'll come back and check on it, or then we'll come back and get ready to heat set it. But in the meantime, I'm going to do some dishes. Okay, I was trying to wait until my other burner that's down here that has 2 of equal sizes was free, but we can have the black over the big burner. I'm gonna have it on high for just a minute until we start seeing some steam happen. I'm gonna leave it uncovered for now because there is, I think, a fair amount of liquid in here, but once I start seeing some movement or steam, I'm going to reduce the heat to low. And I have 30 minutes on the timer. It has now been a little over 30 minutes. And let's see, there's still a lot of black dye in there. And I'm slowly rinsing the spoon as we go up. And there's pigment down at the other edge as well. So what I'm going to do now is place a nice healthy glug of vinegar. Oh my goodness, that's a big glug. That is, and I can actually measure it. Ha! That is that a 100 milliliter glug? That's a 100 milliliter glug of white vinegar. And I've dissolved it in just under a liter of water. Whoa! That is cool. There's a lot of like breaking and color shifts and stuff going on. I see, oh my gosh, I see like pinks. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Did you guys see that? I will bring you over, but that really did sort of shift in color. I wanted to do you see the tendrils moving? I wanted to add most of the water down at that edge so that way the dye would not spread the other way, but clearly it is going to spread down, and I'm moving the yarn a bit to try to prevent that. But so that's why I initially started pouring the water down at the lightest end, so that way as the water moved it would push things more down this way. Yeah, that definitely edge shifted from a blue, and you can see it here, to a bit more of a mint type green. And so now, goodness, I guess we just added cool water, so I guess we'll wait for another 30 minutes. It has been closer to 40 minutes, and okay, we are clear down there, and there's a hint of some color down at this end. I don't even know, yeah, you can see a little bit in the water there, but it basically has cleared, so hopefully just that little wiggle might help. But I am going to turn off the heat, leave the yarn in the pan to cool completely so we can wash it. The lighting is a little weird, but the yarn has cooled off completely, and it looks like that our pan has also cleared completely. Wahoo! Yeah, this color over here probably won't be very black. It'll be more of like a deep gray. Maybe there's a hint of something in here, but let's go and over to the sink so we can wash the yarn. Every once in a while I have deja vu. I do so many one-of-a-kind colorways. I know I've dealt with this kind of combination of colors before. Ooh, there's some like pink in there. That's really cool. But I deal with such like a wide variety of techniques and one-of-a-kind colorways and leave no dye behinds that there's bound to be things that are very similar to another once in a while. All right, we are getting some bleeding. Okay, so I'm gonna come in with a little bit of dish soap. Now this is non-superwash yarn, so I want to be careful with the agitation that I give it, especially when wet. This yarn has enough twist that it can take a bit of, a little bit more than say a Preciosa or a single ply merino or something, but still want to be careful. Some runoff from the black likely. That can happen. All right, let's see. Yeah, that's not nothing. Alright, this time I'm going to fill up the basin, and then I am going to just let it soak for a little bit. Okay, I was still filling and I just lifted it up, and that's already much, much, much better. Okay, so that's not bad then. Oh, as I squeeze it, there's a little bit, but it's already getting better. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and why don't we do soap one more time? So I'm taking just a little bit of our dish soap, adding it on, and then I am going to leave the water in the corner and let this fill up. Okay, soap round 2, and a little bit of a soap. Not a lot, but not nothing. But hopefully now after the soap, we will have rinsed everything out. All right, let's see. Yay! I'm gonna squeeze the liquid out. Okay, that's doing a lot better. I'm gonna rinse it a couple more times, then put it through my spin dryer, hang it up to dry, and we'll come back for some conclusions. All right, I figured why not show you the next rinse. And we're looking good. We're looking real good. This colorway is really, really cool. I enjoy the tonal charcoal and gray versus this minty green with some hints of pink. I suppose I should have anticipated that these colors might break in the mixture, but I mean, that's one of the things that's so fun with leaving no dye behind and having leftovers, is that you don't always know how the colors will combine together because the proportions are fairly random. And this area, this was pink, blue, and orange. And look at this gorgeous hue. I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Leave No Dye Behind. I started this out because I didn't want to waste any excess materials. I wanted to use all the color I had, and this started back when I was playing with food coloring and I had limited skeins at my disposal. But I also think it is just fun artistically because the process of dyeing with leftover dyes is very similar to my approach to dyeing in many ways. A lot of times I start off with a vision and then I see what the colors want me to do, and that modifies how I'm playing with them and adding them to the yarn. And so when the colors are random mixtures, that adds like an element of fun and discovery and surprise as I combine them together. And sometimes I love the result, like today. Sometimes I don't like it so much, but it's all a learning process. And so thank you for joining me on this journey. Don't forget to subscribe, like, turn on notifications, leave comments below about more yarn bases that you would like to see. One of my goals in 2021 is to draw into my stash of random yarn bases that aren't the ones that I dye most frequently. And I know Wool of the Andes is one that I dye frequently, although less frequently from the way I used to. This used to be one of the ones I used the most. But I want to explore different blends and lines and things like that. So if there's any you really want to see me dye, let me know down below. And yeah, I'm going to start diving into my stash more. So you can expect more of that coming up. I always publish videos at least twice a week on Tuesday and Friday mornings, and we do unboxings and live streams every month and just have so much fun here. If you love the yarn I dye, I do have an Etsy shop. There will be a link down below in the video description. In addition to lots of handy links of my favorite tools and equipment, the things that I use in my videos, I try to update the descriptions with helpful information so you can try to recreate my experiments and recipes at home. Thank you so much for watching.